Hello, Mario.
Okay. How's Effie doing?
He's doing better, thank you.
Can one call or visit him or not?
Not visit yet. I didn't visit him, so you can text him, sure, or
Okay,
call him. Call him, he may answer.
okay.
Hold on 1 second. I just have to go on.
We are on 65, Samachay.
How are you, Ernie?
Mario, what time is Mincha tomorrow?
6:55.
Okay, so we'll learn at 6 o'clock.
Unless you want to do it at night, because for you guys to work in 94 degrees, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. What time is Shabbos out?
8:20, 8:15.
So can we learn at 9 o'clock, Ernie? It's just easier.
Yeah, we can.
It's just not so hot, it's going to be very hot tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Mario, good call, Mario. This way other people can come on the thing. How
You're welcome.
How come change to 4 o'clock now, Ern?
Well, because the Young Israel, they're davening like at 5:45 or something.
Oh,
5:55.
Yeah, so they wanted it a little earlier today.
Leisure. Okay, nice.
So fine, tomorrow 9 o'clock. So Rav Yehuda Shadar le Korbana la'avidrana biyomedam. Rav Yehuda sent a gift to this non-Jew on a certain holiday. He knew that this goy didn't worship Avodah Zara. So therefore he didn't have this din that you can't send him a gift. Rav Yosef Atanya Ezel Ger Toshav. What's considered a Ger Toshav? Kol shekibul if they shlosha chaverim shol Avodah Zara. And this guy didn't makabel in front of Jews. So Rabbi Yehuda responded, Kitanya hi, when that brisa was learned, that's lachioso. It goes beyond, for example, you're not allowed normally to give charity to keep a non-Jew alive if he can't live. But if he was makabel in front of three, then you have a mitzvah of lachayoso. But if a ger toshav doesn't circumcise himself within the first 12 months, he's again back like a goy. And Avidrana did not circumcise. So when it says Hassam, you're going kibla of lamol. No, it's not every ger toshav. A ger toshav who accepts upon himself to circumcise. But if he didn't, then it's okay. Rava amtile korbana lebar sheshach biyomeda. Rava sent a gift to a certain officer named Bar Sheshach on his holiday. I know that you don't worship Avodah Zara. He went to see that Bar Sheshach was sitting in rose oil up to his neck. The Kaiman Zoinus Arumas command. They were like naked prostitutes dancing in front of him to serve him. Armerlei, Islu Chai Gavnil Amad Asi. Is this what your Olam Haba is like? Armerlei Didana Difat Tvemai. Our Olam Haba is much better than yours. Armerlei Tvemai Miyava. How could you be better than this? Armerlei Osan Ika Laichu Emes at the Malchusa. Anan Lotev Elan Emes at the Malchusa. You will still have the fear of the Malchus on you. We will not. Armerlei Anamia my Emes at the Malchusa. I'm not afraid of anybody. Adi Yasri, meanwhile, while they're sitting there, Asahu Priska Demaka, a certain officer of the king came, you have to come into the king. So as Bar Sheshach was leaving, Kinafik v'Azol, Armelei told Rava, the eye that looked upon the Jewish people negatively, tipaka should fall out. Because I see you're correct. Rava Amen. Rava said Amen, and Poka Eine, the Barsheshach's eye fell out. Amrav Papi. Ivile lemema lemaikra. Rava could have read him a pasuk. Benos mlachim biakrusa nitzva shagel minecha bekocha mafir. That in the future, princesses of kings will serve Bnei Yisrael. Amrav Nachbar Yitzchak. Ivile lemema le mehacha. Another pasuk. Ayin lo ras alalim zulasecha yasel lemechkala. That the eye has not seen the reward that will befall Jews in the Olam Haba. If you hired if the guy hired a Jew to work his fields, and as part of the job he had to move a barrel of yain nesach, he can keep his money. And Avagav Damarlo liituto erev. Even he told them to do the move of the barrel of the wine only late at night. Like he hired him in the morning, didn't say anything about it, only happened later. So the payment was for everything else. If you hired a worker, and at the end of the day, you tell him to move a barrel, sachro mutter. In. It's mutter because he saved saying that until later. But kula yomalo. But if it was the whole day, he doesn't get his schar. The Amarli to the Erev. Our Mishnah was talking about that, and he only told him at night. And loy kasha, when can you not take the payment? The Amarli haverli mea chavios b'mea prutos. If you were paid $100 to move 100 barrels, so it's all considered like one deal. And even if one of the barrels was yain nesach, all of the reward would be osur. But if he said, haverli chavis bepruta, I'll pay you $1 for each barrel. So only the one that was for the Avodah Zara he can't keep. V'atanyan, I'll show you a beraisa to prove what I just said. Rashi says, b'nichusa. He makes one deal, $100 for all the barrels. But chavis bepruta, v'nintzas chavis yain nes b'nein sachro muter. If a goy rented your donkey to transport yain nesach, then scharo aser. But if he just rented it to sit on it, the goy, and the goy happens to have like a canteen of yain nesach, then we said it's permitted. So the Gemara says, Hasulamali, why are you telling me the case? We just learned the case, Hainu Reisha. So the Gemara says, Sefer Tzrichalei. There's a Chiddush in the Sefer. You hire a donkey to ride on it, and you're the owner of the donkey. Even though he's going to have his canteen with yain nesach, that's okay. Because lemema delogin lavdina hu lusivi. It's not a separate deal. When somebody hires a donkey to ride on, it's understood he's going to bring he's going to bring something with it. V'raminu hasorches achamor sorcher meniach alea ksuso v'leginosom zanosav shaloso adera. The guy who rents a donkey can place his garment and his jug of liquid and his food for that trip. Mikan ve'elach. But anything more than that, Chamar ma'akev, the owner of the donkey can prevent them from weighing down the donkey too much. And the chamar miniach aleh so'arim v'teven v'zasher lo so'ayom. The donkey driver can give the food, take the food for that day and for the animal. Mikan ve'elech so'ichem ma'akev. The renter can prevent him. Am Rabaya, nihi delogin dinu lo suvi. Yeah, A jug of wine is part of the deal. Yeah, but if he doesn't bring the canteen, it's like we deduct the price. So therefore, it's not considered that it's schar for yain nesach. Now, hechi dami, how exactly the case? If you can buy food on the road, chamar nami lakiv, let the owner of the donkey tell the Jew you can't bring any food because you can buy the food on the road. Don't weigh down my donkey. If you can't buy food on the road, so then the renter shouldn't be able to prevent the owner of the donkey from taking all this food with him for the donkey. There is food to buy from station to station for one day. The chamar is darki lemitrich lemizbin. A donkey driver, he's used on the road to buy food as he's going. So we don't matter him to add food because he can buy it. But the guy who rents the donkey, he's not in practice of doing that. So we allow him to take at least one day. Or for the whole trip. He would sell them wine and pour the wine out into their jugs. And he would then ferry the goyim across the river. And they would give them, for the payment of ferrying them, these jugs, I guess the empty jugs. They said to Abaye, he's benefiting from yain nesach. He is only pouring wine, his wine, and then it becomes usher. So when he pours it, is mutter. But there's still v'harotza b'kiyumo. He wants the wine to exist. Shelo nitztaru ziki. So he doesn't want these kankanim to break. So he wants the wine to stay around because he wants to get those canteens as payment. So the Masnu Badayu, he made a t'nai with them that if the jugs broke, they have to pay up the difference. Inami demaisi pritzki Badayu, or they took other empty jugs with them. So if the jugs that they had broke, they would pour the wine into those. So he wasn't really the kiyumo of those jugs because they brought extra jugs. By ferrying them over with a ferry, where now the wine is usher, and he's working on their behalf, he's working al isser. Yeah, but he's not just moving the wine. The amarle l'mevruya mikara. Really, the barrels were free. He was just charging them for themselves. He has sort of a siman or a sign with the ferry, and he's taking them over for free. So there was no tircha. Mishnah. Yain nesach shenafal gabi anavim. If yain nesach falls on grapes, yadichan, you just have to rinse it off. Vehein mutaros. Now, imhayumu, because if they're very ripe, and the moment you put fluid on them, they absorb, but they're not suros, then you wouldn't be able to eat them. Nafal agabi te'ein agabi tmor, if they fell on figs or dates. Im yesh ben benoisen tam, if the yain gives flavor, then osir. Umaisa b'baitus ben zunin shehevi groigers besfina. He brought figs in a boat. V'nishtaber chavet shel yain nesach, a barrel of yain nesach broke. V'nafal al gabi, and fell on them. V'shal chachamim v'hiturim. Immediately the Mishnah gives us a case which seems to be completely the opposite. Now, if it improves the flavor, it's not noisen tam livgam, it's lishvach, then osir. If it's noisen tam livgam, mutter. Kigon chomet shnafal gabi grisen, vinegar that fell on like lentils. That's noisen tam livgam, then it would be permitted. We learn a lot of dinim of kashrus from this pairing. Noisen tam, basar tama, we'll see. I remember when we, in Yoredeya, a lot of the Gemaras come from this area. It's not just from Chulin, it's from this section of Avodah Zara. So the Gemara immediately says, Meiser Lister. I mean, you tell me that if Yain Nesach is absorbed by something, it's usser. And then you bring me a case of Baitas Ben Zunin that it was mutter. So it's like you give me a case immediately to contradict what you just said. So the Gemara says, Chisur Metzler V'achiktani. Im Noisen Tam Livgam Hu mutter. If the flavor is a bad flavor, then it's mutter. That's why if you have dishes or pots or kalim, anything beyond 24 hours, if something was absorbed into a vessel, beyond 24 hours, the tam is considered livgam. That's why we always deal with something fell into a pot, ben yomo. It's got to be within 24 hours, where it absorbed milk or absorbed meat or absorbed something treif. Then if something is added into the pot, it will release the flavor, make it usser. But if it's beyond 24 hours, then it's not usser, because it's noisen tam livgam. And that's a big principle that we learned in Sorba when we went through kashrus. Umay so once we said the principle of noisen tam livgam is mutter, we tell a story. But baitus ben zunin shay mevi grogos besfina v'nishtab b'chavet shel yain nesach v'nafal ha'gabenu b'mais v'nechacham v'turim, because the yayin for these figs gave a bad test. Ahu kori dechiti d'nafal chavisa. There was a pile of wheat that yayin nesach fell on it. Shaya Rava l'zvunei l'goyim. Rava permitted the wheat to be sold to goyim, meaning it was not osir b'noah. Eis ve'erav bar levai l'Rava. Beget she'avid bo klaim. You have a garment. You know that there's klaim in there. You just don't know where it is. Harezelin karena l'goy. You're not allowed to sell it. You're not allowed to have anoah. V'lo yasana mardas l'chamor. You can't use it for a saddle. Aval osa tachrich l'meis mitzvah. If you need to make tachrichin for a meis mitzvah, you can use it, because a mace is potter min mitzvahs. The goy my time alo the masil is when the Yisrael. The problem is, why can't you sell it to a goy? Because he's going to turn around and sell it to a Yisrael who doesn't know, and he'll wear kloim. So the Gemara says, if we just had this wheat that absorbed the yain nesach, and you say that the goy can sell it to a goy, he's going to turn around and sell it to a Jew. Harder, so Rava changed his mind. What he permitted is to grind the wheat, bake it into bread, and sell it. L'goyim shelo b'fnei Yisrael, when there's no Jews, so the Jews won't buy it. Now, in this psak of Rava, it's not. It says yain nesach shenaf al gabi anavim. We said if yain nesach fell on grapes, yadichan, you can just rinse it off. Ein mutaras. If they were very ripe and ready to absorb asuros. So mevukos in. The aim mevukos low. So if it was not ripe, they're not usur. So why are we worried that this wine fell on the wheat? It should be like they fell on unripe grapes. It should be permitted with just rinsing it off. Wheat kernels are different because already from when they're created, they have a lot of cracks in them. And the yayin goes into the cracks and gets absorbed there. That's why we're more machmir by the wheat. Okay.
Ernie.
Tomorrow 9 o'clock.
Ernie,
Yes,
yeah, Ernie.